it's Katie, and I'm about to take on the impossible because today on Katie's Take 5 Friday, I'm going to be counting down the top 5 best Pixar movies. Or in this case, top 6, because I couldn't decide. So with Inside Out still in the movie theater and still doing really awesome every week, I thought it would be really fun to try to compile all my favorite Pixar movies into a top 5 countdown, and that is like really impossible, okay? Because they're just that good, so having to pick 5 was really tough, but I was able to narrow it down to 6. Alright, so let's just jump into this, and starting out at number 6 is The Incredibles. I love this movie so much. Ever since it came out, it was always one of my very favorite Pixar movies, and it is just so great. I mean, it's about a superhero family. Growing up, I always wished that my family had superpowers and that I had superpowers and I could go, fight crime. So The Incredibles was just such a great movie. I absolutely loved it. If I ever make a list of top 5 best superhero movies, that one's totally gonna be on there. I love all the characters. I love all their powers. I love the story. I love the element of family. The Incredibles is just so great in so many ways, so it had to be on my list. And they're making a second Incredibles movie, so I so look forward to that. Hopefully it's just as good as the first one. Number 5, Monsters, Inc. I loved Monsters, Inc. I thought it was just such a great movie. This movie was so great for so many reasons. I mean, it was funny, it had a great story. I loved Monsters University too. That one was really awesome. I feel like Pixar's the only movie that can do sequels right, so it was really hard for me to choose whether or not to put Monsters, Inc. and Monsters U on this list because they were both so awesome and for different reasons. So I'm just kind of mushing them together as one franchise, being Monsters, Inc. They took characters that children are afraid of. As kids, we're always afraid that there's a monster under our bed or in our closet, and I love that they made a world where actually, yeah, there is a monster under your bed or under your closet, and they're not really scary. They're nice, and they're actually afraid of humans. Like, that concept to me was just genius, so I love that movie so much. It was so great. Number 4, Toy Story. This one was really hard to place on my list because I love Toy Story, but I was not that into the first movie when it first came out because I thought it was a movie for boys. To be honest, I was really young and I was like, that's a movie for boys, but then when I grew up a little bit and I rewatched it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like the best movie ever. And so I loved Toy Story. I loved Toy Story 2. I loved Toy Story 3. I could keep watching Toy Story movies. They should just Land Before Time it and just make Toy Story 22. I'd be happy. I think a lot of people would be happy because Toy Story is so great. Honestly, when I was a kid, I thought my toys came to life when I wasn't around and like had parties and hung out. And so when I saw Toy Story, I was like, I knew it. I knew my toys were doing this, see? See, this is what happens when you leave. So for me, Toy Story is such a great movie, and I love the whole franchise. All 3 of the movies have been amazing. They're making a Toy Story 4, so I really hope that one's good, and I look forward to it. I mean, Toy Story has some iconic characters that I feel like are always going to be iconic to Disney. I mean, for a while there, we were just getting a lot of Disney princess movies, and when Toy Story came along, I think it finally gave us other characters besides princesses to love, and so that's why I think that, Woody and Buzz are gonna be characters that just stay forever iconic with the Disney brand. Number 3, Walle! So a lot of people didn't like this movie, which to me is shocking because I was obsessed with Walle. He's a lonely robot who has a cockroach as his friend, and he just wants to meet someone, and then he meets another robot, and it's just genius. Honestly, Walle was one of the first movies that really made me feel something for an inanimate object. I mean, Pixar is really good at making us feel emotions for something that isn't human, whether it be, toys or monsters. And in this case, they made us feel so much emotion for a little robot. And that's why Walle will forever be one of my favorite Pixar movies because it just makes you feel so much. All right, we're getting down to the final 2, and this is really tough for me. I had a really hard time placing them, so here goes. Number 2, Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo is probably one of the best movies ever. Honestly, I love it so much. I mean, it's funny, it has great characters, it's got a great storyline. Finding Nemo did have a message in it, but what I loved about it was that it didn't beat you over the head with it. The message was there, and everyone learned lessons by the end of the movie, and honestly, Dory makes the whole movie. Without Dory, I probably wouldn't love Finding Nemo as much as I do, but she is honestly the best part of the movie, and Nemo is so cute. I just love Finding Nemo so much, so it had to be on my list. Alright, we are down to number 1, and this was really tough because it's a newer Pixar movie, but for me, the number 1 best Pixar movie is Up. Up is the only cartoon movie I think that has ever made me bawl my eyes out. I had a puddle of my tears sitting in the movie theater with me because the first 10 minutes of that movie just yank out your heart. I was not expecting that at all, and I was like, what is this movie? Why am I crying? It just started. And that's what's so great about it, is that it hits you with this heartfelt moment, and then it kind of showed you that it can get better and better and better, because you have Russell, who is the most hilarious character. I love his voice. It is like the most adorable thing. And you have Doug. Honestly, Doug is like my very favorite character in any Pixar movie ever made. I love Doug. Up is just one of those classic movies, and I feel like it's forever gonna be a classic Disney Pixar film. It was so great for people of all ages. Anyone can enjoy Up, and that's what was so great about it. It had a great theme, the plot was great, it had amazing, hilarious characters, and there was also growth throughout the movie. You know, it wasn't just one message, it was a message for a bunch of different characters, and I really, really liked that. Oh my gosh, that is like the hardest thing to do, is put all your favorite movies in one list, because I love Pixar movies, I love Disney movies, and to put them on a list is extremely difficult, especially when I love every Pixar movie. I mean, there's only been one Pixar movie that I'm like, but all the others I'm like, these are great! So those are my favorites. I'm sure yours may differ, but I'm curious to know, what is your very, very, very favorite Pixar movie ever? I know it's really hard, but I did it, and so can you. Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hey you, don't go anywhere. Make sure you click that button right there to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss my next video. And just in case you missed my last video, click right on over here to check it out.